All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory and fear to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Arakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who lead and rule our nation. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that's striving for salvation during these electrifying and trying times. I'm going to do a quick little video. I came across this video. Um, it's a woman of our nation. I don't know exactly what tribe she is. She could be Northern or Southern Kingdom. But she got her daughter. She got a stripper pole. It looked like in her apartment or her dwelling, and she got her daughter climbing and up the pole, and it's crazy because this is what women of our nation has been reduced to thinking this is okay. This is good activity for one, for a child, and two, for themselves. This is the type of you know things that our women partake in, as harlots in the world. So I'm gonna play the video and then I'm gonna just drop a couple scriptures on it. But one thing I noticed is this little girl's not afraid. Like, she's not afraid. She's kind of a little nervous or whatnot, but she's not afraid. She climbing up that pole, as you will see, and then she's following all instructions her mom is giving her, and it's just planting this wicked evil seed in her little daughter's spirit. Like, this is opening her up for demons already to push her forth in that type of lifestyle, like as if this is like something to be proud of, or if this is something that could be a good career move for her down the line. And then you got people on the comment board that's they filthy, man. They making excuses for it, and people look at this and they think that this is cute. You know what I'm saying? But it's a way to it solidifies a way to get your ass destroyed, because the Most High, the daughters of Zion, the righteous daughters of Sarah, are not supposed to be acting like this. This is not supposed to be, how they supposed to, for one, carry themselves and teach the young daughters, because the scripture is very clear what the young women are supposed to be doing. You're supposed to marry. You're supposed to guide the house and teach the young daughters how to prepare to be wives themselves and how to love their husbands. Not teaching them how to run up a pole so other men can drop dollars on them. But anyway, I'm gonna just play it. I'll go from there.
Need to throw away her damn ovaries. But hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, turn your notifications on. I'm gonna let y'all chew up in the comments. Let's get back at it.
Yep, I'm gonna just stop right there. That's the spirit that this little video just came in the way, because it's sickening to watch. I mean, you get the point by seeing what's going on, and it's just this is something that, man, this is what our little daughters of our nation is being taught. This is the leadership. This is of the women, you know, in the female side of the world. This is what's being taught amongst our people. The little girl climbed up that little pole, man, with no, she wasn't scared of nothing, which means she been taught to do this for a long time. And then, you know, she swung up under there and told her sit on her, and slid down. They swung around the pole with their hands. Man, the little girl's damn near a pro already. She probably like 4 years old. So here's the first scripture. This is Job 14:1. It says, "Man that is born of woman is a few days and full of trouble. One, you're full of trouble because of the way things are in society now. Women are running things. They have compassed the men, like the scriptures say in Jeremiah. Women have compassed the men. They're leading our people. And if a man, and this includes a woman too, like a little man child and a woman child, they're a few days born and they're full of trouble because of the they're being led by women. In this society, things are turned upside down. The men are not the head of the families. Men aren't the leaders anymore. Matter of fact, if a man haven't been pushed away or a situation where he's not in the picture, that child is being guided and instructed by women. And the mindset of the women of our nation, especially the women of our nation, is cut and clear that they're not they don't move in the ways that's pleasing unto the Most High. They move in the ways that's pleasing unto the world and what pleases them. That's why the scriptures say a woman that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, because the things that are pleasurable of this world leads unto sin, and sin leads unto death. So these women are if the child is not aborted, let's put that into play. Um, this woman is swinging on this pole most cases, and they done had abortions. Some women that some of these women of our nation that had so many abortions that they when they have a child because they got to. It's been they can't keep having these abortions. So they like like, oh, they have one. I'll have this one. But anyway, verse 2: He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth as a shadow and continueth not. And does thou open thine eyes upon such a one, and bringest me into judgment with thee? Because that's what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to open, you know, judgment. The Most High is going to start judging women like this chick is teaching her daughter how to work the pole. You know, there's open judgments that's coming for these women. If the women of the nation of Israel, this goes for the men too, and it starts with us, brothers in the truth, and the sisters that's following the truth. We are the ones who it begins with. So we make sure that our spirits are correct and we're moving in the right ways. That's why the Most High uses us to put forth the way He's feeling and the things that He see everything that our nation is doing. This nothing's gonna go. Nothing's gonna escape the Most High's hand in judgment, because when he brings forth his judgment, you're gonna have no cloak for your sins. You ain't gonna be able to say, you can't plead with an angel when he's coming to light you up. You're just gonna have to take that judgment, and you can't say that there's nothing that this chick can say, or any chick that does this type of foul shit could even say that it's okay for them to be doing that. Like you just ratchet. They got songs out there that explain that they're ratchet. Like the thinks, think Megan Thee Stallion. She's a rapper from Houston. She got a song called "I'm a Savage." You listen to the lyrics of that. Like the lyrics of that, she's clearly telling you she's a savage. She's ratchet, bougie, nasty. This is uh, put forth in throughout our communities. You don't hear nobody riding down the street in an Edomite neighborhood or a Moabite neighborhood or one of the other nations' neighborhood bumping that song. That ain't the influence or the spirit that's being pushed out on their kids, but that's what's getting pushed out on our kids, man. Women are leading our children and of our nation to into destruction, along with these wicked pastors that's doing the same damn thing. This is Sirach, the third chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, "For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations." So if if this chick right here, if this little girl, if the little girl had a father in this house, you think this would be going on? You think the Poe would be there? Unless he's just a piece of shit. Because there are some dudes in our nation that is like that. But we talking about a father. We talking about a man of a right mindset. Would this be going on? Would this even be there for his woman, let alone for his child to be climbing up on? That wouldn't happen because the man would not stand for this. She wouldn't even be in the mindset to even have that going on if the father was around. And that little girl would be afraid. I seen a video on Instagram. It was a little girl about the same age as this girl. I couldn't find the video. I was looking for this video, man. To put it in this put I was looking for that clip to put it in this video, but I couldn't find it. But I'll give you the illustration of it. It was a little girl like this. She wasn't on a pole, but she was at like you can see her like at like a family gathering, a family event or whatnot, like maybe somebody's birthday party or some type of gathering at the house. It was people there, and they was playing music, and the little girl around the same age as this girl right here, same size and all, she was twerking like she was on the sofa, like she was off the sofa, but her hands was on the sofa, and she was bending over, twerking on the sofa, and then like whoever was recording, they recording her, and then all of a sudden she looked over, to the side, and then she just all of a sudden just stopped twerking, just stopped dancing and everything, just stood up, and she looked sad and scared. Then the person turned the camera to the right, and it was her father. Her father walked up on her and seen her doing that. She instantly straightened up. He didn't even say nothing. He didn't even announce that he was there. He just was standing there watching. And as soon as she got a hold, and that's the spiritual part about it. The spiritual part about it is the father didn't even say anything, but the spirit of that daughter, she just felt like she just all of a sudden just something grabbed a hold of her to turn and look, and she turned and looked, and that's like that's like spiritual telepathy, you know, of her knowing like let me look, 'cause like her spirit got uneasy and uncomfortable with what she was doing, and she realized why, because her father was standing over her watching her, and her father didn't even have to even say anything. It just his spirit was he was heated, and the little girl and she got so scared. You could see it on her face. She looked like she wanted to break down crying right then and there. She put her thumb over her finger over her mouth, like she knew she was busted. That's the Let me go back to it. It says, for the blessing of the father establishes the house of the children. That order, that austerity, that that uh that presence of the father is what establishes the house of the children, keeps the order in line. The scriptures go into that. You're on this in Sirach, the 25th chapter, the 26th chapter. It goes into that about the women. It tells you that a father's supposed to keep his daughter straight way in, so she won't defile herself, for overmuch liberty. Roughly paraphrasing, the father is the one that keep the children in line and on the right path. It says, but the curse of the mother, the ratchetness, the wickedness, the rebelliousness of a woman is what rooted out the foundation. Because the woman, for one, is going to get that man somehow, get the man out the house. And I'm not saying every single situation is the woman's fault. The men, sometimes men play a role in it as well. There's a balance to it. It's not just one sided. The Most High is perfect balance. But at the same time, it's the man is the head, so the woman is supposed to walk in the direction of that man. So if they're so usually every time, most of the time, when you have a disagreement or a situation that's going to cause a man and a woman to separate, somebody's not following the direction of the head, unless she picked just a piece of shit, no good dude. And what kind of woman does that? The same type of woman that's a piece of shit, no good woman. But if you're talking about somebody that's that's not that, that's trying to be, that's moving in the right direction, that's trying to be, they be spiritual or whatnot, whatever the case may be. I don't want to go. There's so many different circumstances out there, but we talking about who's gonna root that foundation out. The scriptures clearly did not say the man, did not say the father. It said the mother. Verse 10: Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father dishonor is no glory unto thee. So if you dishonor your father, there's no glory unto you. You have to honor your father. It says, for the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother is dishonor, is a reproach to the children. She is a reproach to this little girl because she cannot lead this little girl. She first of all, she wasn't led right. Second of all, if she's not allowing herself to lead her daughter in righteous ways because she don't know the way of righteousness. She only knows the way of wickedness through experience, which is why she'll let her little daughter get on this pole and think that this is a life that's going to be okay for her. Why? Because she doesn't know what a parent means or what parenting is. Parenting is a parent is supposed to prepare their child for the things that they'll face in the world and in life. That's why you tell your kid to stay away from, hot stoves and hot irons and plugs. Don't run around with scissors in your hand. All this stuff that can bring harm to a child, you're supposed to make sure that they understand they're not supposed to do these things. Prepare them instead of allowing them to just do whatever they want to do and then face the consequences or suffer, you know, what comes along with whatever the hell they're doing. You're supposed to protect them, prepare and protect them for things in life that they're going to go through for each level of life that they're currently in. This little girl needs to be taught how to protect herself, be protected and guided, instructed away from things that'll harm her at that age. And as she grows older and older, you're supposed to increase more and more of the instructions on how to help and guide this child to become a supposedly a righteous woman, a righteous young lady, how to do right by the Most High. But the Most High is far from their mind. Speaking of her mother and her, because her mother obviously didn't show her the right things to show this little girl. So it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle at that. I'm going to read verse 11 again. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father. Why? Because men teach men how to be a man and how to be right in life. So he received the glory from his father. And in some cases, our people are under curses. So their father is not in the picture. Like my father wasn't in the picture at all. My father was on some other shit. My mom separated my exposure to him because she didn't feel it was right. Now, I personally wish that I would have known my father, but I used to have major hatred towards my father as I was growing up, and as I entered different stages of my life, I had blamed him for not being around because I knew and I did understand the importance of a father because my brother Shaquat that's in the GMS Las Vegas Sin City camp, we grew up like twin brothers. We grew up, I mean, like we were raised like twin brothers the whole time growing up. And his father was in the picture, and that was a male figure for me. And that's how I understood the importance because I seen it clear. And my uncle, he played a fatherly role in my life. He didn't take the role as I'm your father, but he was the male figure and he understood that I needed a male figure just as much as my cousin did his son. So he was right there helping, guiding, and instructing both of us. He treated us like brothers. Our whole family treated us like brothers, so we was raised that way. So I had an extension of a father, which was a valuable male figure in my life. But I also understood that my uncle was not my father. And so where the hell is my father? And I didn't know at the time that it was just pure understanding that this is the curses. My father wasn't around because of the curses. He was off somewhere suffering his walk in life and being subject to the curses to the point where he wasn't there. And that's a direct scripture and a direct curse in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. And then when I came in the truth is when I totally understood, things. And I was able to release that hatred and that animosity I had towards my actual birth father. Because me and him, we fell under the curses. He left, or my mom left, and however it ended up, the fact that he wasn't around. Because he could have straightened up. If he wasn't under the curses, he could have straightened this shit together and been a part of my life, but he didn't. But I was able to release that hatred I had because I understood, man. That's the curses, you know. But back to this, for the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother is dishonored, is a reproach to the children. So that's why there's no issue with her having her daughter on this pole because she's a reproach to her daughter, and her daughter doesn't know her. Her daughter's just following what her mother's having her do because I doubt that there the little girl came over to her mom and said, "Show me how to do it." Unless she was doing this in front of her daughter so much, and her daughter needs to start, because they're gonna follow in what they see. They see her swinging on the pole all the time. Look what she got the little girl wearing. Like this is totally unacceptable, and judgment will be brought forth for this, man. This is the last scripture. This is Isaiah 3:12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." The children that's our oppressors, the so-called white man. You're the children that's our oppressor, and you've put the women in power. You have started this whole women's liberation movement, the feminist movement. You've given power over to the woman. You've especially when it comes to the nation of Israel, you have put a system in place that's systematically designed to exit men out of the life, out of the family, of the life of a family, out of the household. You ejected the men out by giving the women power that they don't need a man. You've given them, you know, government assistant programs so that they won't have to depend on a man's the they don't have to depend on the financial addition of what a man brings to the table of a household. But a man brings much more to the table than providing, financial providing, bringing home the bacon, paying the bills. That's just one aspect. A man adds the stability to a house. A man adds the protection to the house. A man adds pure guidance and instruction to the house. The structure of a house is founded upon the man because he's the head. The Most High appointed him that position, and the so-called white man has separated that whole. He didn't do it in his own house. He just did it in your house. I'm talking about you Israelites. He put this system in play to what? To eradicate your household. But it doesn't go that way in his household. He doesn't stand for that. When he comes home, his wife, his woman knows her position, and she knows his position, and they don't have that separation, that dividance. They don't have that rooting out of the foundation because he won't stand for that going down in his house. He's not gonna let his son see his woman running the house. That's not happening there. But you've done it to our people. You've given them these government assistance programs so that they don't need a man in the house, and they have to have a man. They can't have a man in the house in order to receive it, to qualify for it. But you don't give that same assistance programs to the men of our nation, the men that are down and out and need the help, especially men that actually served in your wars, in your military. You use them up, chew them up like Hubba Bubba, and spit them out when the flavor's gone. That's what you do. I'm gonna read verse 12 again. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. My people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. The women that's leading and is ruling our families, the households of the Israelite nation. You're causing the children to err. You're causing the whole family to err and destroy the way of thy path. How do you destroy the way of thy path? Because first of all, you're not teaching the children discipline. You're not teaching them what authority means. So when they go out in the world, they've had no discipline. They've had no instruction, no guidance. They haven't known the way of any authority because you don't bring that in the house besides your loud ass mouth. Then the kid don't have no respect for law enforcement or breaking the law. Why? Because they haven't been taught law. They haven't been taught rules and shit at their own house. I've seen it myself. But in our house, that wasn't going down. It was rules and regulations. You had chores. You had consequences for those things too. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a bona fide ass whoopings, and I'm so happy I received them all because that's part of being a parent. That's part of leading a child. So the Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment, and the ancient of his people, the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses. And the spoil of the poor in our houses is these women. This not all the it's not all because of the women, but this is one of the main factors right here. This right here. It's the
need to throw away her damn ovaries. But hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, turn your notification bell. I'm gonna let y'all chew up in the comments. Let's get back at it.
It's enough of that. She clapping and cheering her on. That's what is the spoils that comes in the nation of Israel. Our women leading and teaching our little daughters and sons that this type of activity is right. So with that, I'm gonna bring this video to a close. First and foremost, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory and fear to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and lead our nation. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect striving for salvation during these electrifying and trying times. Shalom.